They say my sisters have poor hygiene and poor grooming. Now, is that a sister thing as far as poor hygiene and grooming? Man, I don't know how many times you go outside your house and how many people you come in contact with, but I can put money on it that it ain't my sisters that have some of those issues. And with that, I say that's just a human problem. It's a human problem. But let's kind of go back to where maybe somehow, some way, this history of this stigma came from. You know, back in the times where there was segregation between the races, mainly black and white, you had a lot of white folks who had these negative perceptions about black folks. You know, they had the issue as far as back at a time where they didn't want their kids playing in the pool together. And some of the kids would think that black folks' skin would rub off into the pool and make them darker. Yeah. Or if black folks got in the pool with them, they would catch some type of disease. Yeah. Folks were believing that type of stuff. And you think that stuff hasn't been ingrained with a lot of folks? Generation after generation after generation? They haven't been around our folks. They haven't been around our sisters. But they equate that whatever they heard, whatever somebody said, that confirms what they believe, what they were taught to believe. So that has happened. Now we can go to today's era where you have a celebrity relationship or gossip or even just regular folks through the streets. And somebody puts out a story, and mainly a lot of times it's the brothers who'll come up with a story, and they may say something about a woman's private part and say something was wrong or didn't smell right or whatever. And because folks have a disdain for my sisters, they all of a sudden label all of the sisters saying that, yeah, you know what? That's probably right. Just because they have that disdain, that's probably right. But again, is this a sister problem? Or is this across the board with every culture out there? Men got poor hygiene problems. You better believe that. There's a lot of sisters that can tell you that. Men got some poor hygiene problems, some poor grooming problems. There's cultures around this world that don't even know the first thing about what they need to do as far as women are concerned, what they have to do with their menstrual cycles, or don't have the right types of materials to deal with their menstrual cycles. There's a lot of that stuff out there. It's a human problem. It's a problem where, whether it's access or whether it's education of being taught of what you have to do in certain instances. And some countries don't even have the same types of things that we have here in America. So to label my sisters as having poor hygiene, that's kind of sloppy. It's kind of being simple-minded, because there's a whole lot of folks out here who will tell you that they've come in contact with somebody who has had some type of issues with their hygiene. And then it could be just as simple as, has it been that you ever left the house, you took a shower, left the house, and you forgot to put deodorant on? How many people have done that? And then all of a sudden they come in contact with somebody and then they, oh yeah, you know what, they don't smell as great. It could just be the fact they didn't have deodorant on. Or folks forgot to brush their teeth. It could be as simple as that. There are days where those things have happened with folks. Doesn't mean that they got poor hygiene. It's just maybe on that day they got caught slipping. Well, like the young folks say these days, they were caught lacking. That's what it is. Now, as far as grooming, same exact thing. Taking care of your face, taking care of your hair and stuff like that. That's a human thing, because there's a lot of folks who don't take care of their skin. Don't take care of their hair the way that they need to. My sisters, there's some sisters out there who just have to be taught. They have to be taught these things as young women when they're growing up. Just like the men have to be taught that when they were younger. But sometimes what happens is that folks just get older and maybe they get set in their ways and they just choose not to do certain things. I think the white cat actor, Matthew McConaughey, cat says he doesn't use any deodorant, doesn't put that stuff on his skin for whatever reasons he feels being natural, or that you have chemicals. It's another thing, man. You got chemicals and all this stuff, but he doesn't put anything on his underneath his arms or whatever. And I'm sure that there's been things that folks have said that maybe he doesn't necessarily smell all that great, but that's acceptable. But somehow with my sisters, you want to label them and give that stigma that they just are not, they just don't have a care in the world, where they just don't take care of themselves. And if you see some of these videos that are out there of Groom With Me or whatever, you'll see there's a ton of sisters out here. Man, they'll show you every little small intricate thing of what they do to take care of themselves. So I would advise you to look a little bit more on some of those particular types of videos, as opposed to when you see somebody that just because you have a dislike for them, that you're looking for something that's a flaw and that you want to pin that flaw on them. But again, a lot of this stuff was dated way back. People had their views about black folks. And that is just spread all the way through. Some people saying some, I think it was some young woman who not too long ago, Asian girl who was on a podcast or something like that. And I think she said something about that black women's private area was, larger than normal or some crazy stuff. Now, she wanted to say she was joking or whatever, but that's what I'm talking about. What I'm saying is that if she's on a podcast and she's talking to her culture and her culture starts hearing that and they're like, whoa, really? Is that really true? And then that spreads, and then it's like, yeah, you know what I heard? Black women have bigger private areas. That's what I'm talking about. They're women. They're women, just like any other woman. And they may have some slip-ups here and there, but to label that as saying that that's their stigma, that's what it is for them, like I said, is just lazy. It's just the fact that you really haven't been around my sisters, like I tell you before. You just haven't been around them. And if you look at any of these other cultures, you will see the same thing that some of them, their men will tell, the same things, experiences that they've had with their women. Their women will talk about when they are in private areas with other women. They'll talk about what things that they see with some of these women. Oh, you need to get in some of these women's circles. All these women culture circles, and you'll find out all of them have some type of thing to say about each other. But that's probably just a woman thing as far as being catty and all other stuff. But you need to get in those circles and you'll find out a lot more that it ain't just my sisters that have some type of shortfalls. Everybody finds something or some type of stigma that they give these other cultures. You just got to get around the people. But again, get around my sisters. Go check out the videos with the Groom With Me or Grow With Me or Get Ready With Me, whatever that thing is. Check out those videos and you'll see a lot of our sisters take a lot of pride, man. They do a lot of work before they come out of that household. Some of them school some of these other cultures as well. Anyway, I'm going to catch you on the next note. Peace out.